let's dive into the October Visa Bulletin to help you understand where things stand. Each month, we share the latest update and remind you of steps you can take while you wait. To walk us through everything you need to know, here's Elizabeth, or Associate Director of Immigration and Licensing, to cover the October Visa Bulletin. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Melissa. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you so much for sharing, taking part in this. So go ahead, give us a little bit about what the October Visa Bulletin looks like and what it means for our healthcare professionals.
Yes, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm excited to share the October Visa Bulletin with you this month. As you know, or maybe you don't know, and this will be your first time hearing about this, the Visa Bulletin is released once a month by the Department of State. It's released in the middle of the month for the upcoming month. So we are now viewing the October Visa Bulletin. So in the EB2 category, which would apply to physical therapists, if there are any physical therapists on the call, there was decent movement in each category. As you can see, in case this is your first time seeing the Visa Bulletin, there is the employment-based category, 1, 2, 3, etc. And then across the top is all chargeability, China, India, Mexico, Philippines. This is going to be based on your country of birth. So if you were born in the Philippines and you are a registered nurse, you would look at Philippines, EB3. So for the October Visa Bulletin, as I said, in EB2, that would be more for our physical therapists, those with advanced degrees, and the role that they're performing also requires that advanced degree. There was a movement across all countries of approximately 3 months, with China only seeing about a 2.5-month movement. Now, for our EB3s, this is going to apply to our registered nurses and our medical technologists. There was some movement for the Philippines. We had approximately a forward movement of 2 months. India and China, they saw a 3-month forward movement, so that was great news. But unfortunately, our all chargeability, this is someone who was born anywhere but China, India, Mexico, Philippines, also referred to as rest of world, there was no movement. And for Mexico, there also was no movement. That was a little disappointing, but we are excited for those who did move forward to 2 to 3 months. So this will be the October Visa Bulletin. So now I know there was a question that came in the chat, and they were asking to explain the difference between two dates, the two different charts. There's a final action date chart, and there is a dates for filing chart. And as you can see on the screen, we have that chart A final action dates for employment-based preference category that we're highlighting. And there is a specific reason for this. The final action dates are the priority dates that the Department of State, the government, is using to proceed with scheduling the embassy interviews for those that are processing outside of the United States or going through what we call the consular process. The chart B, the dates for filing chart, that is specifically reserved for those who are currently in the United States on another, particularly like a non-immigrant work visa. They're here in the United States already working on another type of visa. They have, gone through the immigrant visa process. They have the I-140, and they are going to be applying for what is called adjustment of status, which is only available to those who are currently in the United States. So that chart B, while you're going to see that they have different dates, that is dates for filing for those inside the United States applying for adjustment of status, that they can file their adjustment of status application. Now, for processing of the green card application itself, they're still going to review and use the final action date, priority date, to actually be able to approve the green card. So it just means that they can get their case filed a little bit earlier, but submitted for processing. So that's the difference. As most of you are outside of the United States, or if not all of you are outside of the United States, you want to refer to Chart A, the final action date. That is for consular processing. So while, the Visa Bulletin wasn't as exciting as we had anticipated for October, there are still plenty of things that you can do while waiting for your priority date to become current. And first of all, and most importantly, is don't lose hope. Your moment is coming. We didn't see retrogression go back further, so that is something to be excited and celebrate. And then while you're waiting, use this waiting period to actively prepare. If you haven't reached the stage where you can complete your DS-260 or provide your National Visa Center documents, make sure that you are, preparing those documents, ensuring that you have everything ready to go when you reach that point. Things to consider on the DS-260, you're going to have to provide your residential history, your work history. So if you've moved around a lot, if you've held a lot of jobs, you want to be kind of compiling that information and having that ready to go. Also, it's very important to continue practicing English language skills. If you haven't passed your English test yet, you want to make sure that you're focusing on that. If you have passed, continue to practice so that when your time comes, you are comfortable with your English language skills. And of course, most importantly too, we'll be continuing to gain that bedside experience so that when you're ready to interview with client facilities, you have the experience, you can nail your interview, and when you come to the United States, you're hitting the ground running. And then our full circle of support is here to guide you through each step of the process. Any questions, any concerns, we're here to support you. Just reach out to your assignee if you need immigration questions answered. Reach out to your assignee. They will work back with the immigration team to get those questions answered. And again, I'll just reiterate, don't lose hope. Your moment is coming. Stay positive. It will happen.